Do I fear death? Is there life beyond death? Is there a point to life itself? All questions that I've heard time and time again. To put your worries at ease, I have an answer to these questions. It is yes. Yes, we all fear death, for death is the end of all things. Yes, there is life beyond death, for that is where the goddesses wait for us. And yes, there is a point to life. It is to prove ourselves worthy to the goddesses. So I ask you all, do you feel worthy to meet with the goddesses? For if you are truly worthy, then you have no fear of death. For the next life is a life full of rewards under the love of our goddesses. This is why I head out into battle, with my head held high. The only fear of death I have is the fear that there is still more worth to prove. So hear my words, and be strong, for only in weakness can we fail both ourselves and the goddesses. Sohn Roseland's last speech to the survivor fleet, year 24 of the new era. A 308 rolled into my hoof, taking a small line of blood to me. The guard may have had bigger numbers and more powerful guns, but we had outmaneuvered them, catching them off guard. The Corps Brigade had only suffered minor casualties, where the guards near Hulltown had been completely wiped out. The bodies were quickly dragged into the hallways and used as bullet shields while we advanced into the second team of guards. One guard, a mare, looked down at me with lifeless eyes as her tongue flopped around in my face, with her missing jaw. It made me feel a little uneasy to use her as cover, but when a few bullets flew my way, I got over it. "Over here, kid!" Another brigadier waved over to me. My role in this fight was to run supplies to those fighting, mainly bullets. Waiting for the gunfire to move away from me, I bolted to the pony. A shot did land near my hooves, but I was under new cover in a short few seconds. The Corps Brigaders, holding down the position, took what ammo and explosives was on me. One tried to take my sword, but I bit her leg for even trying. A Pegasus guard tried to attack from above, but the confines of Cargo Town forced him to stick close to the fight, and it was driven off before it could hit any pony. Another attack came in the form of a rush, but a well-placed grenade killed one of them and drove the others back. The worst was when a loyalist got a lucky shot off on us, peppering us with her rust gun. However, luck was on our side because she was too drunk to aim straight, and her firing was full auto, which made the bullets fly wide. Two of the brigaders got hit, but not anywhere important. For the rest of us, the bullets either missed or harmlessly grazed our armor. The counterattack was quick, and our shots sent most of her skull back into the wall of her home. I ran into the cunt's home to recover the gun and ammo. It took only a few seconds to climb up into it. Inside was as ratty as any other place in Backwater. But it did have a few things that didn't look over 100 years old. She must have done a few favors for the captain's ponies to get some of this junk. The rust gun she'd used rested on her mutilated corpse, along with a bunch of magazines. Jackpot. The rust gun was one of the few guns made right here in Blackwater, and I was told it got its name because they used reforged rusted scrap metal for the gun. The guns tend to keep some of the red rust on it, and so the name. Strapping the gun to my back and stuffing the magazines into my pockets, I quickly scavenged around for anything else useful. Luck was on my side as I found the source of what made this mare stupid drunk. A bottle of Blackwater rum. I handled it with care as it was flammable as all fuck. Coming out of the home, the others told me to give them the stuff, but I just stuck my tongue out at them. "Got your own guns. This'll be mine. I'm taking it, Carvendall." In response, a can was kicked at me, but I dodged it and ran for cover. Carvingdall was in the center of Cargo Town, where Puppet String's group had brought up more supplies that they'd taken from deeper inside the city. This also meant that we were now fighting guards from all around, including above and below. Just restocking ammunition was dangerous, and I still had to get to all the other Corps Brigaders. Running off, I could not help but think of Prison Paint, and how mad she must be right now. She would do better helping off. with killing these cunts. The center of Cargo Town was covered in the blood of guards and corps brigaders alike, but unlike the guards, we had an advantage. We can heal without healing potions, so there were a lot more bodies of them than there were of us. But it also meant I saw what the hunger could reduce me to if I wasn't careful. I ran inside the base, which was just a few cargo homes that were close together. One room had a stack of bodies and one corps brigader. The fellow brigader was fresh from healing, and was currently stripping the flesh from a dead guard's leg. When I first saw it, I thought it made my stomach churn, but I quickly revised that it was what hunger felt like. I didn't like the idea, but Carving Doll told me as long as I kept myself fed and avoided getting hurt too badly, then I shouldn't worry about the hunger taking over me. But life on the ship, unless we win, it'd be impossible to avoid losing myself to the hunger. I had to pull myself away from the sight. Just the sound of tearing flesh was making my mouth water. In the next home was Puppet Strings. She was on the radio giving out commands to each of the small groups spread out over Cargo Town. She was also sharpening a metal shard on the desk the radio sat on, making a high-pitched squeaking sound each time the metal was rubbed across the surface. "Drummer, take your team to the main pathway. The Loyalists be preparing for a push. Barb's team will be waiting for you there." She looked over the metal shard and had a satisfied look on her face before placing it under her dress. "I finished with the resupply." Puppet looked my way. "And I found some good stuff." Shuffling my body, the Blackwater rum sloshed within its bottle. With her magic, Puppet Strings lifted the rust gun, its ammo, and the bottle of rum. "This is very good. Exactly what you need for our next mission. Stay right there, and I'll get you ready." A saddlebag was levitated over to me and placed on my back. Its straps were fastened on tight, securing the bag to my left. To my surprise and glee, Puppet did the same with the rust gun on my left. Fuck yeah, I just got a battle saddle. Placing the trigger in my mouth, everything was tight, yet not uncomfortable. "Looks like it all fits. Can ya press the trigger?" Using my tongue to press the trigger, a wire that went from the bit to the gun tightened ever so slightly. Puppet Strings nodded her head. "Good, good. Now then, I'll load you up and send you out for your next mission." The magazines were levitated into the bag, with one going into the gun. I was also given 3 more pipe bombs, 2 in the bag and 1 on the outside of the bag. "Due to your small size, we'll be needing you to get past the Loyalist line and blow a hole in the barricade up on the main pathway. If you can disorganize them long enough, we might be able to push the towers. Victoria will be already setting the main tower, so they'll need backup soon." She pushed 1 magazine further into the SMG, but didn't chamber the bullet. "You understand?" "Aye. Sneak past the guards, throw bombs at the barricade, and run for Victoria." "Close. After using the bombs, use the rust gun to take out any guards you find. Got it?" "Aye. Kill 'em all." Puppet Strings chambered the rust gun. I was good to go, and I ran out of the cargo home. Carving Doll was outside giving orders more directly. The mayor looked at me and nodded, probably already knowing about the mission I was given. We had a huge advantage fighting in Cargo Town, with all the twists and turns forcing most of the fighting to stay restricted to a small area, and small arms and melee weapons. Victoria had also managed to disrupt the guards' radio signal, making it so that only we were able to organize that way. It was forcing the guards to take up defensive positions and slowly push out so they could try to retake the town, which left them at even more open for traps. For me, my advantage was that I could use all the hidden routes that me and the other fools would use to sneak past the adults. Mostly it was little openings that we could just get through, but the older ponies couldn't. Though with gear on, I had to barely fit through most of the holes. I was just glad that Puppet Strings made sure it was tight enough that none of the gear made noises when I moved around. The fight allowed me to sprint across an open walkway unseen. 1 bullet did ricochet dangerously close to me. I got lucky at another turn as 3 guards were too distracted, brutalizing a corpse, to see me run by. Among the 3, a mare guard had chosen rape as her form of brutality. I couldn't tell who it was, but they were attacking, or even if it was a combatant. but they must have already given up struggling as the guard was simply fucking a corpse. My luck ran thin near my goal, as I was forced to hide under a box. It took only a split second, but if I had taken any longer, I would have been spotted by 2 guards who had just walked into the alleyway. The worst part was that they had taken a holding position and were now waiting for a corbrigator like myself to run into the alley. They didn't know I was here, but I couldn't move from my spot without them filling me with bullets. "For the last time! If I knew when, I would tell you, so stop your blubbering!" A pony with a deep voice spoke up. "Easy for you to say. I can smell the smokes on you. This migraine be driving me nuts." Another pony with a raspy voice joined in. "Maybe you'll get lucky and one of the asshole sprogs will have a stick on him. Then you can stop being such a scurvy dog all the time," Deep retorted. "Fuck waiting for one of them to have a smoke. I'm ready to bust down a door and find out one that way," Raspy whined. "Unless you want some shot to your face, I'd just stick to killing the brats," Deep nickered. "Yeah, fuck you too," Raspy groaned. This sucked. If I was a unicorn, I could have at least thrown something to get them to look the other direction, and backed out of the alleyway to find another way to the barricade. Unfortunately, I wasn't one, and they were not going to move anytime soon. Thankfully, they still didn't know I was here, or that I was a corbrigator, so I had a simple, crazy plan. "If you need smokes, I got your smokes. For trade." It was a fucking stupid as hell plan, but if I could get them close, I could kill them before they could kill me. "Come over here. I got a few sticks to trade." "The fuck? I smell a ship rat." "Ah, fuck. Deep was onto me." "Wait a moment, mate. Let me check it out." Yes, Raspy was an idiot. I could hear the hoof steps come closer, from both ponies. "Nice pony you are. I got 3 sticks. Not cheap." "All right, I'll bite. What do you want for 'em?" Looking through a hole in the box, I could just see Raspy. She had bloodshot eyes and a twitch. The pony needed more than a smoke. "Bullets. 5 per stick. 15 bullets for 3 sticks." I just needed to know if the other pony was close enough. Then I could use that rust gun to kill them both. "Fuck that!" Deep spoke up, sounding close. "Just kill the filly and take 'em." "But what if the smokes get damaged? Or she has them stored somewhere safe?" Wow, this dumbass was smart. Lucky for me, that was the dumbass. It was also working. And wrong. I had one more gambit to make, so I hoped that this time the stare would work. "Look me in the eyes. If you can see, it will be a good deal." "Are you seriously buying into this shit?" I still couldn't see the other pony, but Raspy looked me in the left eye. As she stared, I focused on getting the stare to work. I forced myself to remember being beaten down, stabbed, shot, drowning, and also the feeling of intense and sudden hunger. My left eye tingled, and the guards seemed to have frozen in place, our eyes locked. "That's it. Enough of this!" The box flew up and away, revealing who I was to Deep. "Fuck, it's one of the—" I'd moved like it was instinct, and fired into the smaller pony's face with the rust gun. Up close, I didn't have to worry about the bullets going wide, and each hit their mark. The other pony was still frozen, but was slowly recovering. Quickly, I pulled out my cutlass, biting onto the side handle so that I could thrust the sword. As the pony came to realize what was happening, I plunged the sword into their throat. Blood splurted out when I twisted my head, covering my face in the pony's blood. The blood tasted like iron, though I didn't know if it was the pony's blood that got in my mouth, or if it was the blood that seeped down from my own eye. The barricade was mostly a collection of doors collected from cargo homes. It had been propped up in a way so that the guards could slowly push forward. Battle rifles poking out from the gaps in the barricade and fired off whatever the corbrigator poked their head out from cover. On top of this, there was also being used for a resupply point, and for field medic treatment. They were also periodically throwing out magical balls of light to illuminate most of the shadowy spots as they pushed forward. Due to my size, I was able to get into a spot that still remained just out of sight. I had one shot at this and 3 bombs to do it. The barricade could take a hit from the front, But if I could get the bombs behind it, it would knock the doors flat on the ground, and probably kill some of the guards. The problem was the barricade had some super vigilant guard, whose heads seemed to be darting around everywhere. I'd be seen as soon as I got into a position to throw even one pipe bomb. Unicorns had it easy. Pulling out the other 2 pipe bombs, I had to think of a plan. Just throwing one at a time would get me killed, but throwing all 3 had a strong risk of me failing the mission. Sneaking up onto the barricade was just stupid to even think about doing, as well as leaving a trap. I could shoot them before throwing the bombs, but I would probably just get me shot before the bombs went flying. Doing what I did to get rid of the 2 guards was completely out of the question. Think. The best idea I could come up with was to throw one of the bombs to distract them, and the other 2 to knock over the barricade. Using my bandana to tie 2 of the pipe bombs together, I quickly placed them on the ground where I could easily kick them up and pull the fuses. Taking the first pipe bomb out of my mouth, I quickly picked my target. Pulling the fuse with my teeth, I then chucked the bomb at the medical pony. It became apparent to me that I can't kick the pipe bomb if both my front hooves were in the air. So, with a little fumbling, I could manage. I scooped up the 2 bombs in my hooves and did the best to get both fuses into my mouth. I could feel the pressure wave pushed back against my mane as I pulled the fuses on the remaining 2 bombs and chucked them at the barricade. The 2 bombs hit the ground and slid just short of the target, but luck was on my side once again, as a confused pony accidentally kicked the bomb right under the barricade. But that was where my luck ended, and gunfire started to come aimed at me, putting a hole right through my right hoof as I fell back under cover. The second blast felt stronger, shaking the hiding hole I was in, deafeningly. My ears were ringing, like my head was being used to ring the chapel bell, and my hoof was in incredible pain. Looking at it, the hole in the bottom was small, but I could see the other side. Fuck! A whole chunk of my leg was missing, and I could see the shattered bone. Looking up, I could see pieces of my leg splattered above me. Huh? The fucking shiprat's still alive! Finish it off now! Fucking shit. I had to move. But every time I moved my hoof, the pain made me collapse. Using my back hooves to push myself, I could still get away, but I had to be quick about. The feeling of magic grabbed my mane, dragging me forward out of the hiding hole. You're not going anywhere, shiprat. Brings me back to when I was a foal. It was a unicorn, with a big bloody cut on his face. That was a nasty move you did there. 2 of me patients went to Pony Jones' locker involuntarily with that bomb. I was lifted up with the unicorn's magic and slammed down hard onto the ground. My mutilated hoof hit the ground first, making the pain even worse. I tried to scream, but couldn't make it out. Had the breath knocked out of me. Oh, I think I heard a crack there. As a medical pony, I can honestly say that can't be good. Well, not for you anyway. Let's try it again. I was flung into the wall and slammed down onto the floor again. The pain was just too much, and all I could do was cry as everything got darker. Had enough already? No, I don't think you have. Suddenly, my eyes shot open, and I could feel my heart beating heavily in my chest. Everything was clearer than I'd ever seen it, and more vibrant than it should be, and I could feel everything. Ah! The damn unicorn was laughing as I curled up onto the ground. I'll engrave this pain onto your very soul. Make it sour enough that you'll carry that pain straight into the afterlife. It was strange. I was still in pain. So much pain. But it was quickly becoming a dull pain. The worst of the pain was coming from my hunger. Shaking, the unicorn loomed over me to gloat some more. I wouldn't be surprised if the asshole started masturbating over me. Good. That fear in your eye, that's how it should be. To know your place in dying. I lunged, sinking my teeth into his throat. The unicorn stumbled back and tried to pull me off with his magic. It was fruitless, though. That only resulted in the flesh tearing from his neck. He switched from pulling to attacking, striking at me with his hooves. Yet each strike became weaker and weaker until the unicorn collapsed. I didn't let go. The sickening taste of iron filled my mouth. I didn't care what it was anymore. I needed to eat something. Everything went hazy. Think she looks cute, don't ya? I think she looks like Victoria at the end of a bad day. Opening my eyes, I saw a carving doll and puppet strings standing over me. Puppet strings pulled out a white rag. Oh, good, you're awake. I was wondering when we were going to have to leave you behind. She pushed the rag to my face and rubbed me with it. Pulling it back, the rag was now a brownish red. Now, let's go. Victoria may be able to kill the captain on her own. She was adamant that she wanted witnesses. I got up, almost stumbling to cradle my hoof, but there was no pain, and it was back in one piece again. The only difference was that I was now covered in blood, as was my other hoof, mane, and tail. Looking back, I saw the unicorn. His neck was nearly just bone, and the belly split open, with guts everywhere. The liver should be the first thing you eat. Carving doll smiled. She was about as covered in blood as I was. 2 rippers were attached to her front legs, held on with leg braces. It's full of all the good stuff that keeps us healthy. Well, when it's healthy. If it's all black and oily, just throw it out. Carvin, let's give out tips after we take the city. Puppet Strings quickly trotted off. Looking down at me, Carving Doll still had a smile on her face. You did real good, Star. Real good. Now, let's go finish this. Then, we can have some real good food. Like pineapples. She shivered. I miss pineapples. Carving Doll trotted off, and I closely followed behind her. I didn't know what to say, or was there simply nothing to say? All I knew was that the taste of blood and flesh was still on my tongue, and my hunger was finally satisfied.